Another day of trying to escape from tutorial jail, a very accurate term describing the moment when you stop relying on step-by-step tutorials and start creating something on your own. Today's goal was to model a spoon to complete my cutlery set. As usual, I began by gathering reference images to understand proportions, thickness and overall shape. I started modeling the handle using a cube. By applying extrusions, loop cuts, rotations and grab transformations, I gradually shaped the handle. For the metal part, I repeated a similar workflow using a second cube. The first real challenge appeared while modeling the spoon's head. I needed to delete selected faces to create the hollow area, the concave space that actually holds the liquid when eating soup. At this moment, the model started to resemble a narrow aluminum military spoon. That was my first impression. It looked slightly chunky, but overall I was satisfied with the result. I added additional loop cuts wherever more control over the shape was needed and refined the curvature of the spoon's head. The underside of the spoon was a familiar process from modeling the fork. I used the same method, inserting loop cuts, scaling down edges loops, and shaping the central profile to create a smooth transition between surfaces. It worked reasonably well. Next, I added a subdivision surface modifier to increase geometry density and smooth the entire model. After enabling subdivisions, I corrected the lower metal section inside the handle. Since this part is visible from both sides, I scaled it slightly to prevent it from looking too thin after smoothing. I applied the same subdivision modifier to the handle and added supporting loop cuts near the top and bottom edges to maintain sharper contours while keeping the overall surface smooth. I spent some time searching for a solution to create the metal pins without using cylinders. My idea was to create loop cuts, bevel selected vertices and then convert them into circular shapes using the Loop Tools add-on. Unfortunately, this method didn't work properly in my case, so I returned to the previous solution and reused cylinders. Since I had already modeled them earlier, I simply reused the pins from the knife model. Finally, I rearranged the previously created materials to keep visual consistency across the entire cutlery set. And that's another step in escaping tutorial jail. Thanks for following this journey, I'm glad you are still here. Keep modeling and see you next time.